I'm Sheri Ann Richerson, and I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Experimental Homesteader TV. And today we are going to learn how to make paper. Making your own paper is very easy, and it's a great way to use up some of the plant material in your garden because you can dry it and incorporate the flowers, the leaves, some of the herbs into your paper. And some of the herbs, such as fennel, give the paper a really nice smell. You can also use essential oils to scent your papers with if you like. And this is really easy to make. You can use up all kinds of scraps such as old newspapers, junk mail, whatever. All you do is you take your little scraps of paper and tear them up. Put them in a container like this. I have pre-torn some of the paper. But just different sizes. I mean, it doesn't have to be real small. And I like to use hot water because I just think it feels better to use when you use your hands to work with this. And you want to fill this little container full of water like this. I find the more water you have, the thinner the paper is, and if you're going to use it in a machine such as the Cuttlebug, you're going to want thin paper. Okay, and then I'm going to take my hand mixer, put this down in here, and just turn it on and mix it up. I'm using up some old seed paper, is why it has some color to it. I made some seed paper last night, got it dried really quick, cut some shapes out of it using my Spellbinders dies, and I had a little bit left over, so I wanted to reuse it. And I'm going to add some fresh seeds because, of course, you don't want to chop all your seeds up with the blender. But you're just basically going to do this to make a slurry. You want to make sure you got all your paper good and blended up. You can also use a blender to do this if you like. I just found using these coffee carafes with the hand blender made it easier because I could work wherever I wanted to. And I could also see what was happening. Then, of course, you're going to have some paper stuck to your blender. And you're going to want to kind of get that off there so you don't have any waste. I'm going to move this over so I have something to set my blender on. And then I'm going to take these seeds. This is just a hummingbird mixture. I'm going to sprinkle it in. You want to be plentiful with this so the paper has a lot of seed in it. And I'm going to stir it in with a spoon just like that. If you notice bits of paper that didn't get chopped up quite as well as you'd like, that's okay. It's going to give your paper a little bit different of a texture. And then what I'm going to do is take this container, and this is just 4 boards with some screen on it. This is what I'm going to make my paper in. I'm going to carefully pour this through, just like this, making sure just to get a thin layer of the paper because I really don't want a thick paper because I am going to run this through my Cuttlebug. Okay. If you get some pieces like this, you can just pick them out, like I said. I'm going to use my hands to kind of press this around to see where I think I'm at. Okay. I'm going to add a little bit more here. I don't think I have quite as much paper as I would like. Okay. And once I'm satisfied that I have a thin layer of this slurry on my seed or on my little paper making mat, then what I'm going to do is take a sponge and I'm just going to press this. Because what I'm doing is trying to absorb as much of the water as possible. Of course, you'll want to squeeze your sponge out. And here I found a few spots that could use a little bit more of the slurry. So I'm just going to take my spoon like this. I'm going to kind of fill it in. So one of the tricks with seed paper, if you're going to put seeds in it, is you want to make sure you get it dry as quickly as possible. And some tips that I have found for doing that include running it through my Cuttlebug because the pressure of the plates pressing against it helps to squeeze some of the water out. And the other thing that I do is I let it dry on either on the back side of this or on my Cuttlebug plates, and I lay just, you could use newspaper, but I use these little napkins, and I just lay a double layer down and let it absorb, and I kind of pat the top with another double layer, and I change that twice before I let it dry on its own. Okay. And again, I'm still getting this just a little thin. Usually I stand up when I do this, so I'm actually looking over the top of it. It was kind of hard to position the camera so you could see this, and I could stand up, so that's why I'm sitting down here, just a little lower than normal. Okay. Then, like I said, when I'm happy with it, it doesn't have to be perfect. It depends on what you're going to do with it. I just take one of my Cuttlebug plates, put it like this. I flip it over, kind of tap on this a little bit because you don't want to tear your paper up, of course. Take it off, and there you go. Now all I have to do is run this through my machine with the other plates on it to press some more of the water out, and then lay it on some paper towels to help absorb the water. And if you don't have a Cuttlebug, you can just use the paper towel method. Just be sure to press on it because, as I said, you don't want these seeds to start germinating before the paper actually dries. And that's all there is to making paper. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you'll try your hand at making paper at home.